Filipa, how about you? Regarding talent, you have mentioned before different visas, different entry points, let's say this. But let's imagine a talent or a talented person. How this person could um, take this opportunity to join the Portuguese ecosystem and to foster all that we are talking here today.
Well, I would say there are probably three pillars that are always included in the discussion when we are thinking about the strategy of coming to Portugal. And I would say one of them, of course, in terms of immigration, because if you are intending to relocate, you need to know how is it that you will be authorized to do so. And there are several options depending on what are your goals for Portugal. So if you are an entrepreneur willing to launch a startup here, there are at least two main types of visas to which you can apply to, and one of them is fairly recent, which is the startup visa, and it was enacted thinking about entrepreneurs from other markets and trying to attract them to the ecosystem here, so they are able to apply online through a simplified procedure. When they come, they are not alone. They are incubated in a certified incubator with professionals who will be able to help them in their first steps. And then there are other visas. I would just briefly mention the tech visa, more focused on making it easier for companies based in Portugal, and this can include Portuguese companies, but also companies from other countries launching a branch here. And we are seeing more and more, fortunately, mature companies from other continents seeing Portugal as their gateway to the European market, so establishing here a branch or subsidiary. And those companies can benefit from this as well. This tech visa is a visa that will enable them to attract highly qualified professionals from other markets to our country. And then if you are an investor, there are other types of visas. One of the best known is the golden visa, which allows you through this investment that you make in a company in Portugal to be eligible for a visa, so to be free to come and go to Portugal and Europe, live and work here if you wish or not. And I would say from my experience, fortunately, we are seeing more and more investors from other markets, and I would highlight the US as well, interested in investing in companies here or in funds who are focused on startups. And this is quite recent, at least in my experience, and I think it will also be something important to boost the ecosystem here. And then there are two other pillars: funding, their fundraising strategies, and as Philippe was mentioning, from my experience, this is also something that companies always want to consider when they are considering and making their investment plan for their activities and operations in Portugal and Europe, because obviously taking advantage of these funds is something that we will enable them to grow at least at a faster pace. And we are talking about funds that will help in their internationalization, so expanding to other markets, in their innovation. And here I would connect this with talent again, because there are specific grants that support companies and in their research and development activities, namely with the costs of their employees conducting these activities within the company. And then a third pillar I would highlight is taxation and the tax framework that the Portuguese government has enacted in order to make Portugal more attractive, either to entrepreneurs and individual investors or entrepreneurs or companies. And here I would highlight a specific regime which was enacted to individuals coming to Portugal, so highly qualified professionals, entrepreneurs or investors who can benefit from the called non-habitual residence regime, which very briefly gives benefits and sometimes exemptions to people moving their domicile, their tax domicile to Portugal. And then there are also tax benefits for the companies, and specifically, again, connecting with the talent, companies conducting research and development activities here are eligible for specific tax benefits. And this is something that, from my experience, is also being very competitive and attractive when companies are still trying to decide in which market within the European market to establish their subsidiary.